With a lot of different trade rumors swirling around the Chicago Bulls, there is one person who I didn't expect to actually be included in any trade talks, and that is, you guessed it, Patrick Williams. Let's talk about the team that's rumored to actually be looking at him, and ultimately, should the Bulls even be considering it? Let's talk about that and more, but first, gotta hear the intro, baby. Listen, if you are new to the channel, it's your boy P Kid. As an intro, I already let you know, but this is Chicago Bulls Breeze. Give you all things Chicago Bulls. I need you to do me a favor because YouTube be playing me. I need you to do me a favor and like. I need you to share, subscribe, leave the review. Y'all know what to do. Give me all of that so we can continue to give you that hot content. Listen, the Patrick Williams saga in Chicago it may be coming to an unceremonious end. Reason being, and it should be to no one's surprise, realistically, it just hasn't really worked out the way that we all hoped Patrick Williams would work out. Being drafted 4th overall in his particular draft, many people thought that that was a miss. Many people thought that AK had reached, and unfortunately, the proof was kind of in the pudding. When you're drafted that high, you're expected to be an impact player and not just a role player. And in many ways, in cases and situations, that has not happened for Patrick Williams. Now, many people will say that he hadn't gotten the opportunity to showcase that. And this is where I call cap. One of the reasons I say that is because, and it's not any diss to him, he can't control where he was drafted. But realistically, looking at his career, I had never seen him as a top pick or someone who can carry a franchise, which is typically what you get when you pick someone that high. You're looking for those type of players who can at least carry or be bridges to while you go out and find your superstar. I never saw him as that player. But he is an NBA talent. Let's not make any mistakes about it. Patrick Williams deserves to be in the NBA, and I'm happy that he's living his dream. I do not want to wish ill on anyone. I wish him much success. However, he just wasn't what the Chicago Bulls needed. Now, you look at the injury history, which, as it stands in the last week, Patrick Williams was injured again. That did impact his development a little bit, as well as playing alongside Zach and DeMar. Let's be clear about that. But his injuries have kept him out. And in the course of that, it's opened the door for more individuals to step up. One of those individuals who I'm actually very, very fond of. I'm fond of his game. I like what he puts out there. And that also shows you that you can have impact in very limited minutes. Montes Buzelis. Montes is a stud. He's actually someone who looks like, let's be real, when you put them out there with the second unit, he looks like he doesn't belong out there. His skill set is like, yo, this kid has it. And when you have that coming off playing the same position as Patrick Williams, you put yourself in a tough position. And so with the emergence of Montes, it makes all the sense in the world that Patrick Williams could be eventually or could be considered for trade. Now, where do I get this information? Well, guess what? The Chicago Tribune, Clutch Sports, a lot of people have even said that the Chicago Bulls are more open than ever to have trade talks around Patrick Williams. And you should. When you have the emergence of someone like Montes come up, who's fighting and clawing and actually showing that, hey, if you give me starter minutes, I can give you starter production, it gets kind of hard to defend what you're getting from Patrick Williams at times. Again, not to say that he's a bad dude, not to say that he's not a good player, but he's not what you need at your starting power forward or small forward, however they play him. Whereas Montes not only is and can be, he's coming in younger, things of that nature. You just see the ceiling being so much higher, and you got to see if the juice is worth the squeeze. You have to sit there and see if that juice is worth the squeeze, and that is what you get when you sit there and you look at Patrick Williams, and when you look at Montes Buzelis versus Patrick Williams. But that's not to sit here and say that any of these that he deserves to be traded and not good riddance or anything like that. I hope he gets to a spot where he can be utilized in a role that actually fits what he brings to the table. And one of those teams that actually seem to be on the table to actually be entertaining this is the Golden State Warriors, who are 12-5 in the West. Championship pedigree. We see what's happening there. But they've been struck with a lot of injuries, and at the same time, they've had some weird situations with Jonathan Kuminga. They had some weird situations in the past with Andrew Wiggins. All of those really good role players. But two things that you notice, those are role players who former, at least with Wiggins, former pick that everyone was like, we should have been more. But he's a good number two, number three even. He relishes in that role. That's his personality. And the Warriors found a way for him to be on that team, be impactful. He rewarded them by showing up. He did a great job sticking Jason Tatum in that championship a couple years ago. And he walks away. He comes to that team as a X factor and a champion. Well, Patrick Williams has the same opportunity. If you ask me, Patrick Williams is shooting good from the three. He doesn't take a whole. Well, he's taking more now, but like realistically, that's a new thing. You get him on that team, he can shoot better. That team actually makes. I don't. You go there, you just learn how to shoot. I mean, you can't be with the greatest shooter of all time, not learn how to shoot. And I think that he's going to fit into that role just fine. I say that to say because most people think I just totally hate Patrick Williams, and that's not the case. Again, I wish him the best, but I can absolutely see this trade making sense. And by in its addition for the Bulls by subtraction. I don't know exactly what the Warriors would give up. I frankly don't care. The one thing I do see is that gives a clear path for Montes to actually step up and do more, and that's exactly what the Chicago Bulls need. You need to lean into those who are showing you that they can do, and reward them when they do. And you can't do that if you have them competing with Patrick Williams. So that to me is addition by subtraction for the Bulls. It could be a great addition for Golden State Warriors. That's something that could be a win-win for both sides. I want to hear your thoughts. Man, I know it's been all over the web, but let's talk about it. Whether it's love or whether it's hate, put it in the chat. I will be in there with you. Give me a yay. Give me a thumbs up if you think this would be a good trade. Show me why. Explain why in your comments. Again, I'll be in there with you. Till next time. Peace.